Well, howdy there, Internet people. It's Belle again. So today, we're going to talk about Trump versus the EU, Tariff Bluff Edition. So on Friday, Trump was unhappy that his trade deal with the EU was not actually on its way to becoming a real trade deal. So he said he was jacking up the tariffs to 50%. Sometimes past is prologue. So let's take a look at the timeline. Last month, he said he was imposing a 20% tax on most imported goods from the EU. Then he backed off and cut it to 10%. On Friday, he got mad and posted to social media, quote, "The European Union, which was formed for the primary purpose of taking advantage of the United States on trade, has been very difficult to deal with." He went on a bit in Trumpian fashion and then said, quote, "Our discussions with them are going nowhere. Therefore, I'm recommending a straight 50% tariff on the European Union starting on June 1, 2025. Later, he backed down and put a pause on the tariffs until July 9th. I really need to get a shirt from the movie The Descent or something else with a cave. Trump said it was because he had a good call with the president of the EU. If a single call can shift policy, it's not policy, it's a mood. So what's going on? The EU and Trump are still talking. EU stocks took a hit over the threat and then rebounded over the pause. While Trump is playing games, a lot of countries within the EU are warming to China because the US is becoming a less than reliable trade partner. They're also working on strengthening ties with Vietnam. Meanwhile, in the United States, what happened once Trump announced the cave on his tariffs? U.S. stock futures rebounded. They shot up almost 400 points. U.S. stocks shot up when he paused tariffs on the EU. What does that tell you? That Trump's tariffs will hurt U.S. companies. Even with the rebound, experts are advising caution. An investment chief over at Zane Capital Markets put out a note to clients saying, quote, "While the delay in EU tariffs has provided a short-term boost to futures markets, underlying concerns about trade relations and upcoming economic indicators continue to weigh on investor sentiment. Beyond that, if Trump's promised tariffs ever do go into effect, the EU will respond, and they've been building a pretty comprehensive package of options since before Trump was even elected for his second term. It looks like around $100 billion in U.S. trade will be hurt. They're also looking at limiting sales to the U.S. of chemicals and metals. U.S. mills need those, but their prime target will likely be U.S. tech companies. The EU buys a lot of digital services from the U.S., and they're particularly vulnerable to tariffs. Trump's erratic behavior and trade uncertainty continue to drag down the U.S. economy and its prospects for the future. Anyway, it's just a thought. Y'all have a good day.